Hello, my beautiful ladies. Welcome to another episode of Mademoiselle Diaries. My name is Aurelia, and I hope you guys are doing well. Today, we're talking all about how to balance your femininity while working, while being in the corporate or owning your business. This is such a relevant topic, especially these days. Obviously, women are now in the workforce pursuing these high ranking jobs, and they're asking themselves, how do I still preserve that femininity, while still pursuing my dreams? One thing that I really want to preface is that it doesn't really matter what you do. It doesn't matter if your job is masculine, it seems very masculine and male dominated. I don't think you have to change your job title. You don't have to change a field just because you want to be more feminine. Let's not do that. I put up a Q&A on Instagram and I asked you ladies the challenges that you might be facing at work in terms of still trying to embrace your femininity. And I see this desire of women trying to reconnect with their femininity. And I really believe that it is because we are designed a specific way by God, and the structure that has been given to us by society, perhaps it doesn't necessarily always match with what we're actually supposed to be doing. In the workplace, obviously, we're told to work harder, to compete against your peers, suppressing the very things that make us who we are. But let me tell you, ladies, that femininity is your superpower at work. The fact that you are able to lead with this femininity, with love, with compassion, it can be a superpower. And let's just get into it. First and foremost, you still need that masculine side of yours, this desire to plan, that ambition, that drive. That is really great. And this is not something that we try to suppress. But once a woman embraces her femininity, watch her thrive so much more. The whole experience of working suddenly becomes much more enjoyable. And that is what we're trying to achieve. A lot of women have come to me and asked me, wow, I really wish that one day I get to that point where I found my purpose and I actually thrive at work. And a lot of times I'm like, hold on, hold on. I really want to be clear on this, that your actual job, your actual work is not a reflection of your purpose. It's simply a means to it. You ladies, each and one of you already has a calling by God, and you were created by a purpose. Every single person in this earth has a purpose. Think of a carpenter. A carpenter creates a chair for a very specific purpose. Before even creating it, the carpenter already had in mind what the purpose of this chair, what it would serve for. That is exactly how God created you to be. When God created you, He already knew the purpose that you have on this earth. So let us not look to work and all these other places to really distract us to find our purpose, because our purpose is living in this earth. It's something so much more grand, and it's so much beyond our work. The scripture literally says, I chose you before I formed you in the womb. Before God even created you, you already had a purpose. It's not about creating that purpose. It's literally about reconnecting to our Creator, spending time with Him, and then you will find that, oh, I'm not asking myself so much, what is my purpose? And you might think, why is she talking about this? Well, I'm talking about this because I think a lot of women try to look to work to find their purpose and validation. They try to be validated by their boss, by the successes that they achieve. But no, you can only get the validation, that true fulfillment from your creator, and stop looking to your boss for it. And I have done this so much where every single day I went to work and I was in such distress. I could not be in my feminine at all because I wanted to impress my boss. I was so nervous. At the time, I really relied on this company to sponsor my visa when I was living in Australia. And every step that I made wrong, I would freak out about it. That's because I really idolized my boss's opinion. I thought that this visa would be the end of me, that I have to take control of this. But no, once I finally let that control go, once I really focused on my relationship with God and listening to Him and knowing that my purpose is so much greater than just this job, then I felt I could finally thrive and just operate in my femininity. I'm telling you that once you connect with God, that you prioritize your relationship with Him, everything just flows so much more naturally. Even the job that you're currently at, let's say this is not your calling over your life. I'm pretty sure that my previous job was definitely not my calling. But the fact that I really prioritized my relationship with God at that time, it made me want to do work with more care, interact with my colleagues, really put in so much love into my work. And then little by little, God started speaking to me. He closed doors and He opened new ones. And that's where I felt that I was walking closer and closer towards my purpose. And ladies, I must admit, there are some jobs that are just not aligned for you. So perhaps if you feel completely stuck, drained, and you have tried everything, then maybe it is a time for you to actually reflect and evaluate, okay, God, is this where you actually want me to be? Because man, I have tried everything. I've tried to make this as pleasurable as possible, yet I still find no joy. At the end of the day, I leave this job feeling super drained. And to be honest, I have been there as well, where I have been in jobs where I just do things repeatedly all day, every day, and it was not a fun time. But I think little by little, God was really teaching me to find joy in these very boring and mundane tasks, to explore how I can make this experience so much better. If my job wasn't boring, I probably wouldn't have um, connected with my colleague that much. It's so fun that you kind of have to like squeeze in that experience. And trust me, one day God will open doors for you and you'll be like, ah, okay, got it. The way that you handle your work right now will prepare you for future opportunities. So let me go through the points and how to actually squeeze out every bit of experience, find joy in your current work. I think it's very much possible to find little pleasures and joy throughout your work. It's super important as well. You're spending 40 hours a week usually working, and you have to make it enjoyable. Like, it's a big part of your life. Number one, ladies, is to look the part. Look your absolute best. If you need to wake up 20 minutes earlier just to make your makeup nicer, do something with your hair, put on some jewelry, a nice outfit, wake up 20 minutes earlier because that will impact your whole day. I have put in such an effort in how I present myself to the world. In the past, I would literally just wear sweaters and these yoga pants, and I would call it a day. Okay, I can go to work like this, but nuh-uh. No. And in my previous job, I remember I was like, how can I just make every single day much more fun and enjoyable? I started wearing heels. I started doing my makeup nicely, and it affected my day so much. And you ladies, even if you work from home, I currently work from home. I found myself in a trap of just wearing sweats all day. And that really put me in a mindset that, okay, today we're going to act lazy. That really affected how I went about my day. So even if you're working from home, no excuses for you. You can put in a little bit of makeup, simple, if you're taking calls, and make sure that you're dressed well and that you are prepared for the day. You're not going to just be lounging in your sofa in your bed. No, we're not doing that. I have a challenge for you ladies. Is this next week, try to look your absolute best, and you just notice how different you will feel and how other people will treat you differently as well. Also, a lot of you ladies mentioned that you have work uniforms. You're perhaps working in a cafe or nurse, all that. My tip for you ladies is perhaps focus on the face, the grooming aspect. Really wash your skin in the morning, really cleaning it out, adding some highlight, some blush, your hair, make sure that it's healthy, add some nice products in it. Really just take care of yourself. This reminds me of Esther, the way she just oiled herself, and she is just peak femininity, you guys. If you want to learn about feminine woman, read the book of Esther. My second point would be to focus on that human connection. Ladies, we are not meant to go by work just to clock in, clock out, speak to no one. All right? We cannot be spending 7 hours in a day just on our laptops and expect to be fulfilled at the end of the day. You actually need to connect with the people around you. That's where we thrive. We all have this nurturing side in us, that motherly instinct as women. And that applies at work. You don't come in at work and suddenly your whole biology disappears. Your longings for connection still apply at work. If you're struggling to really connect with your coworkers, perhaps you can do acts of service. I remember I would go out for coffee a lot of times, go on a little walk during my lunch break, and I would always ask my coworker, "Hey, do you want coffee?" I would grab her coffee, and it would just make things so much more pleasant. And I just loved being around her as well. There's something about acts of love and the book Meaning of Marriage, and it's so unrelated, but the book Meaning of Marriage by Timothy Keller actually talks about this, how when you do more acts of love, it leads to more feelings of love. And that really applies to this scenario as well. If you're struggling to feel that love and joy at work, try to just do these acts of service, and you will notice that suddenly the feelings will come. Let go of jealousy, please, and competitiveness. We are not meant to be competing all day and to be jealous and gossiping about one another. That makes work feel so draining and toxic, even for the people around us. But when you really use this feminine power that you have, you lead with love, you don't compete with one another, you really just try to help everyone out, then trust me, your days will fly by. And a lot of you ladies mentioned how you struggle with being assertive and heard and all these things at work while still, staying feminine and not being like this dictator who's like bossing everyone around. Firstly, I think that there are little things like your posture, how you carry yourself, how you present yourself, the words that you use, how deliberate you are with your speech. These things actually have an impact in how people perceive you as well if they're going to take you seriously. So, if that's an area you feel like you're lacking, focus on that. How am I carrying myself? Like, am I standing tall? Do I look like someone that can be taken seriously? If you feel uncomfortable asserting yourself with words, just command respect through actions. Be decisive. People respect those who really take action and who take ownership over the action as well. You have to stop seeking validation from your peers, from your bosses. Yes, there is one thing in terms of receiving feedback, but you're not here to seek validation from anyone. As I mentioned in the beginning, you can only receive that validation and fulfillment from God. Let your results speak. You don't always have to assert with your words. Literally, just deliver excellent work. You get the job done professionally, and then people will suddenly start taking notice of you. Another thing, ladies, that we have to do is to set boundaries at work, okay? I used to be a huge people pleaser at work, that everything my boss says that I need to get done, don't worry, I got you. I will do this. I will be called in last minute and I'll be like, yep, I'll be there. Until one day I was just so drained. I was working 6 days a week and I felt resentment towards everyone in my job. And I was like, wow, this is because I actually don't have boundaries. Then later down the line in my other jobs, if people gave me tasks that clearly I had no time for, I'd be like, sorry, I'm overworked. I don't have time for this. Just be firm, but still be kind, obviously. And when you set boundaries, ladies, don't look down, don't look to the left, to the right. No, look at them straight in the eyes, make eye contact, be very clear on your stance, because people are just gonna feel like, I know she feels bad. I'll just ask another time. Like, no, you're gonna have to say no, looking at them in the eyes with trying not to make so many excuses, but really just, no, sorry, I'm overworked today. Period. And the last thing that I have for you ladies is to create a transition routine from work to rest. This is so, so key and so game changer. I have done this ever since I started working, and I really believe that this is why I have so much energy all the time and I don't feel completely drained, even if I have so many things to do. Every single day, I have one morning routine, and it's very simple. It doesn't take 3 hours, but I just make myself a nice black coffee. It takes me 10 minutes, and then I just get into reading, whether that's a book or scripture. I need that 30 minutes just to mentally prepare myself and to check in with myself as well. I remember this time where I felt so drained from work and I just didn't want to wake up early. I just wanted to sleep in, snooze, 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 and then just get ready in like 5 minutes and hop out. I would feel so drained every single day because I did not create that intentional time for myself. So, ladies, please take the time in the morning, especially to really, okay, we're waking up, we're taking it easy on ourselves, and you feel like, wow, I've already created space for myself. And the same goes with a routine after work, having a proper time to unwind, whether that's you going to the gym, going for a dance class, anything, painting, whatever, hanging out with friends. You need proper signals that tell you, okay, now we're leaving work behind and we're fully resting and being present in the moment. Because if you don't do this, if you don't have proper signals that tell you to rest, then you will always be carrying work with you. All right, my beautiful ladies, that was it. I hope that was helpful for you guys. Let me know what other videos you guys want to see, and I'll catch you guys next time. Mwah!